welcome to our deep dive today
Oh, yeah.
into the world of marketing and consumer behavior
Hmm.
with the fascinating Rory Sutherland as our guide.
Okay.
You shared his interview on the Diary of a CEO with us, and I have to say,
Yeah.
his book Alchemy is full of aha moments
Absolutely.
about why we value things the way we do.
So
It
true.
really makes you think differently.
Yeah. It really does.
About things you just take for granted.
Have a knack for it.
Yeah.
Uncovering that hidden psychology behind, what makes us click that buy button.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is it's not.
Yeah.
It's not always rational.
No?
It's not always about like features and benefits and
It's not spreadsheets.
right. It's very much how we feel
Right.
about a product, how we perceive the value, and
Perceived value.
he really emphasizes that perceived value
Yeah.
is just as real as the tangible features.
Yeah.
So one of the examples that really struck me
Okay.
was his analysis of the Uber map,
Yeah.
which
Just brilliant.
on the surface seems so simple.
Oh, so simple.
But
But deceptively simple.
yeah, it's brilliant in how it addresses a key psychological pain point.
Right.
So think about like waiting for a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst part about it?
The not knowing
The not knowing,
how long.
right?
But uncertain.
The uncertainty,
Yeah.
and it's not actually the time itself.
It's not the time.
It's the not knowing how long.
Is it 5 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? Is it
Right.
15 minutes? You
Yeah.
just don't know.
And then you start getting anxious, and you're like, oh, should I have called earlier?
Yeah, exactly. And then you're looking at your watch
Right. And
constantly.
you're like every minute feels like 5.
And you're wondering, are they lost?
Exactly.
Are they, stuck in traffic?
And you're looking down the street like, is that them?
Right.
Are they?
You don't know. Yeah.
And it just amplifies that frustration.
Exactly. It really does.
Cobra.
The Uber map, I think, is just such a
Oh, that's brilliant.
a stroke of genius because
Yeah.
it eliminates that anxiety
Yes.
by giving you control and transparency.
Right.
You can see exactly where they are, how long they're going to take.
Yep.
You can even see them moving
Right.
on their little route.
You can see if they're like stuck at a light or something.
Yeah, you can see all of that.
And it's such a
It's so clever.
it's simple, but it's just so
Yeah.
effective.
It's simple but effective.
And it's almost like that weight feels
Yeah.
more manageable because we feel like we're in the loop.
Totally.
We're not just sitting there
Right.
wondering.
We're powerless. We're like, okay, I see where they are.
Yeah,
all good.
We have the information. It makes
Yeah.
a huge difference.
And the funniest thing is,
Yeah.
the inspiration for this might have come from James Bond. Really?
Yeah. So Sutherland mentions
Okay.
the tracking device
Oh,
that
okay.
Bond uses in Goldfinger
That's funny.
to follow the villain.
Hmm.
Might have been the seed for the idea.
Wow.
Like, who would have thought
That's amazing.
that, a concept from a movie
Yeah,
could actually revolutionize an industry?
absolutely.
And that's really what it did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really
It changed everything.
changed how we think about
Yeah.
ride sharing
Percent.
and just, transportation in general.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And it really highlights how
Yeah.
addressing a psychological need can be more impactful
yes.
than just focusing on
The tech
the
itself.
technology itself.
No.
Like, we often think, oh, we need to make things faster.
Right.
We need to make things more efficient.
More features, more bells and
All
whistles.
bells and whistles. Yeah, and sometimes it's really about...
It's the psychology.
He-
Understanding
Yeah.
the psychology.
And this reminds me of another fascinating...
concept that Sutherland talks about.
Okay.
It's called the Ikea effect.
The IKEA effect. I love this one.
Yeah. It's basically that we tend to value things more
Yes.
when we put effort into them.
It's so true.
Like have you ever put together
I'm terrible at it.
a piece of IKEA furniture?
But yes, I have. And
Yeah.
and
Many times.
it's not always the easiest process.
No.
But when you're done,
Yeah.
you feel this
There is a sense of accomplishment.
you're like, yeah, I built that.
Yeah, I did that.
Even
But
if it's a little wonky.
even if it's a little crooked,
Yeah.
you're still like, I did that.
I made this
And I'm proud of it.
exactly.
And you value it more
yeah,
than
than
just some...
than if you bought it pre-assembled.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like that's why people love
Yeah.
building things.
DIY projects,
Yeah. Absolutely.
because there's that sense of
Ownership.
yeah,
Yeah. Pride.
accomplishment.
Accomplishment. And that boosts the value in our minds.
Totally.
And Sutherland uses this clever example
Okay.
of pick your own strawberries.
Oh.
So they're often
Cheaper.
cheaper than buying prepackaged strawberries.
Repackaged.
But because we've invested the time
Yeah.
and effort to pick them ourselves,
Repick them.
they feel more valuable.
Yes, they do.
It's like,
It's because you did the work,
yes.
so you value it more.
And it's almost like our effort
Mm-hmm.
adds this layer of
Significance.
personal significance
Yes.
to the item,
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes more special.
Like it's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thinking about this,
Yeah.
you mentioned in your notes that you enjoy DIY projects.
I do.
Um,
Yeah.
Do you think the IKEA effect
A big part of it. Yeah.
plays a role in that enjoyment?
Totally.
Yeah.
I think there's just that real sense of satisfaction. Like you said, that comes from creating something yourself,
Yeah.
envisioning it,
Mm.
planning it, and then seeing it come to life.
Right.
It's very satisfying.
And that effort you put in makes the finished product
Absolutely.
just feel so much more meaningful.
It does.
Have you ever experienced this?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like outside of DIY projects?
Yeah, like even
Or
like
have anything?
just organizing something.
Right.
Or, just like
Yeah.
doing something that you put effort into.
Right.
And then you stand back and you're like,
Yeah.
I did that.
Like I put that work in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
And Sutherland argues
Yeah.
that businesses can tap into this
Okay.
as well.
Interesting.
So like imagine if companies found ways
Mm-hmm.
to involve customers
Okay.
more in the creation process,
I like that.
right?
Yeah.
Like even something as simple as
Okay.
adding a personal touch to a product
Okay.
or offering customization options,
yeah, right.
right? That could actually increase perceived value
Yeah.
and foster a sense of ownership.
And make the customer feel
Yeah.
more invested in it.
Like I'm part of this.
Yeah.
This is mine.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't just some generic thing.
Yeah.
I helped create this.
I had a hand in this.
Yeah, and that's such a
Yeah.
great point
It
because
changes it.
it could really transform
Yeah.
a simple transaction
Mhm.
into a more engaging
Right.
and meaningful experience
Yeah,
for the customer.
for sure.
Now, this might sound counterintuitive,
Okay.
but Sutherland argues that sometimes even negative stories
Okay.
can actually increase a product's appeal.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that work?
So it all comes down to managing expectations.
Okay.
So he uses this example
All right.
of budget airlines,
Okay.
like EasyJet.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very upfront
Okay.
about what you don't get.
Got it.
Like no fancy meals,
Right.
no free checked bags.
Right.
Makes sense.
So they're basically acknowledging their limitations right from the start.
Okay.
But by doing so,
Yeah.
they create this narrative of cost saving.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so passengers understand
Right.
that the low prices
You're not hiding anything.
right
Yeah.
come with certain trade-offs,
Uh-huh.
and that transparency
Yeah.
makes the value proposition more
Because, like, honestly,
believable.
almost.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
even desirable.
Yeah.
Like they're saying,
If you know what you're getting.
we're not pretending to be something we're not.
Exactly.
They're offering you the best possible price.
They're upfront.
And here's how we do it.
Yeah.
And that honesty
Mm-hmm.
can actually build trust
I think so.
with
It'd
consumers.
be like authenticity.
Right. In a world of
Yeah.
overblown promises and
Yeah.
marketing hype,
Mhm.
admitting limitations
Yeah.
can actually be refreshing.
It can be. And make your offering stand out.
Yeah. It makes you seem more
Yeah.
trustworthy.
It's kind of like a reverse psychology approach.
Yeah.
By being upfront
Yeah.
about what they don't offer.
They highlight
They actually make their core offering,
things that they do.
with
and
just
are
the low price,
Right.
even more appealing.
interesting. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed yourself being drawn to a product
Yeah.
because of what it doesn't offer?
I think sometimes, like if something's too
Yeah.
feature heavy, I'm
Right.
like, I don't need all that.
It's too much.
Yeah, like I just want something
Simple.
that works.
That does what it's supposed to do.
Right. And I think that's
Less is more sometimes.
sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
And this actually reminds me of another point
Okay.
that Sutherland makes
Mhm.
about products whose value you only truly grasp
Okay.
once you've experienced them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he talks about his own resistance. Okay.
To the Quooker,
Oh, the Quooker.
which is that instant boiling water tap.
The instant hot water.
Yeah.
Which I will admit I was skeptical of.
People were like, who needs that?
I have a kettle.
It's just a faster kettle.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like why? But I have to say,
He says, once you experience it,
it's amazing.
you can't imagine life without it.
It's true. You can't.
And it's a perfect example
That's convenient.
of what economists call an experience good,
Okay.
where you can read all the descriptions, you can watch the demos,
Yeah.
but the true value
Yeah.
only becomes apparent
When you've used it.
when you've actually used it.
I totally agree. Like, you
Bingo.
can't
You can't
explain it.
This idea of experience goods
Yeah.
really resonates with me.
It does.
Because I remember being totally skeptical about product the listener uses.
Oh, yeah.
But once I tried it,
Yeah.
I was hooked.
You get it.
I was like,
Now you understand.
this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it really highlights
Totally.
the limitations of marketing. Like
You
sometimes
can't capture
the words,
and
images just can't capture the
Yeah.
full experience.
Yeah.
You have to
You have to feel it,
feel it,
touch it, taste it.
touch it, use it
Yeah.
to truly understand its value.
Absolutely.
What are some other examples
Oh, there are so many.
of experience goods
Yeah.
that come to mind?
Like a really comfortable mattress.
Okay.
Or a great pair of noise-canceling headphones.
Okay.
Like, you can try to describe
You can't describe
the feeling, but until you've actually, like,
the feeling of
going through
putting them
it.
on
Yeah.
and that silence.
Yeah.
It's like, ah.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's
Or,
that.
like, a really delicious meal.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you can
describe the ingredients?
describe it, but it's not the same
The actual
as tasting it.
of tasting it.
Yeah.
So it's like this gap
There's a gap
between
between value
what you expect
which we expect
and then the reality.
and the experienced value,
Oh,
what we
yeah.
actually feel when we use it.
For sure.
And bridging that gap
Yeah, that's the challenge.
is the challenge for marketers.
For marketers, yeah.
Yeah. So they need to find creative ways to give potential customers a taste of the experience.
Right, like free samples,
Right, like free samples,
try it,
trial period,
testimonial.
user testimonials.
All those things help.
Yeah.
Yeah, to bridge
Encourage-
that gap.
help them move beyond their skepticism.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
experience
It's a real deal.
the real value.
Yeah.
So it's like giving them a sneak peek
Yeah,
behind the curtain
I like
to
to
see what awaits them.
the magic.
The magic.
Yeah,
And this actually leads us into another fascinating aspect of consumer behavior.
which is how we use
Okay.
brands and possessions
Yes.
to signal status.
Oh, this is interesting.
And Sutherland calls this signaling.
Signaling.
And he argues that sometimes showing you don't need to try
Okay.
can be
Interesting.
the ultimate status symbol.
Okay.
So it's like this subtle way of saying,
Yeah.
I'm so confident
Yeah.
and successful
Right.
that I don't need to rely on
Flashy brands.
flashy brands
Yeah.
to impress anyone.
Right.
And it's this counter signaling
Okay.
that he sees driving
Interesting.
the popularity of electric cars.
Yeah.
So they're not just about
It's not just about saving the planet.
being environmentally conscious.
Right.
They're also a statement
They're a statement
about values
about who you are.
and a quiet kind of confidence.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need
I'm not trying to keep up with the
a
Jones.
gas guzzler or a,
Yeah.
a
I'm
huge
trying to impress you.
SUV
Yeah.
to show how wealthy I am.
Right.
Like, I'm comfortable with who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm making a statement
It's a different kind of status.
about the world
Yeah.
and my place in it.
I like that. Yeah.
And it's
It's like you're ahead of the curve.
yeah.
You're an early adopter. You're
Yeah.
making conscious choices.
You're setting your own standard.
Yeah.
And Sutherland points to Tesla's use of vegan leather
Oh, yeah.
for their seats
Interesting.
as a prime example
Yeah.
of this counter signaling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a clever reframing
Oh, yeah.
that elevates.
Because on the surface,
Yeah.
you could be like, oh, that's cheap.
It's fake leather.
Yeah.
It's not real leather,
Right.
but they've positioned it as
And they've made it positive.
an even aspirational choice.
It's better for the environment.
Yeah.
It's, cruelty-free, all those things.
It's amazing
Yeah.
how the perception of value
Mhm.
can be so fluid
Yeah.
and influenced by
all fierce.
beyond the product itself
Different
factors.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
our choices are often driven by
It's not just about
this complex interplay.
the product of
Like
psychology.
functional cues,
Yeah.
personal values. Like,
It's
it's
fascinating.
really fascinating.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder
Yeah.
what unconscious biases
Are we not even aware?
shaping our decisions as consumers.
Yeah, exactly.
And that leads us into
Uh,
another important aspect of marketing,
mhm.
which is personalization.
Personalization.
So we all know
Yeah.
it can be an effective tool,
Mm-hmm.
but Sutherland emphasizes
Yeah.
the importance of doing it subtly
Right.
and thoughtfully.
Yeah.
It's about enhancing the experience,
Not being creepy.
not feeling creepy.
Yeah, not being invasive.
Or invasive.
Yeah.
So he actually shares a
Yeah.
negative example
Okay.
of a CEO
Okay.
who emailed him personally
Oh, no.
right after he joined a gym. And it felt
I hate that too.
intrusive and presumptuous,
Leave me alone.
like a violation of his privacy.
Yeah.
Like he's just a
Just a number.
number in their system.
I don't want to be a number.
And they're like, oh,
No.
we got him. And he contrasts that
Okay.
with a positive example
Okay.
where a hotel
Okay.
left a chocolate Taj Mahal
Oh, that's
with his company logo on it in
Yeah.
his room.
That's thoughtful.
And it was a small gesture,
Yeah.
but it made him feel valued
It makes you feel seen.
and appreciated.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between
Like you're a person,
being bombarded
not just a...
with generic
Yeah.
marketing messages
Yeah.
and receiving a thoughtful gift.
Yeah.
One feels intrusive,
Yeah.
the other feels personal
It's the thought
and genuine.
as that counts.
And personalization,
Yeah.
done right,
Mm-hmm.
is about thoughtfulness
Thoughtfulness, yeah.
and creating genuine delight,
Yeah.
not just using data
Showing off.
to show off what you know
Yeah, what you know.
about your customers.
Right.
It's about using that data
Yeah.
to create
And make a connection.
a positive emotional connection,
Yeah.
a feeling of being seen
Yeah,
and understood.
for sure.
And those subtle touches
Yeah.
can really
They can go a long way.
make all the difference
Yeah.
in building brand loyalty
Mm.
and creating a lasting impression.
Absolutely.
Up
So
and
it's about going beyond
Yeah,
the transactional
on the transactional.
and creating a relationship
Yeah,
with your
the
customer.
meaningful relationship.
A real relationship.
Yeah, one that's built on trust,
Trust.
understanding
Yeah.
shared values.
Mm.
And speaking of shared values,
Yeah.
you know, Sutherland's insights really make you think about the power of marketing to not only sell products,
Right.
but also to influence behavior
Yeah.
in positive ways.
Like to do good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what if we
What if we could use these...
use this knowledge
Yeah, these insights.
of psychology
Yeah.
to actually
To make a difference.
encourage healthier habits,
Absolutely.
promote sustainability,
Mm-hmm.
encourage people,
To make the world a better place.
and make more ethical decisions.
Mhm.
Like marketing could be this force for good,
Yeah.
helping us
I love that idea.
create a better world
Yeah.
by tapping into
I think that's what we should all be striving for.
the power
Yeah.
of human psychology
Absolutely.
and understanding
It's positive impact.
how we make decisions.
I think that's a great place to
Yeah.
leave it for now.
All right.
We've covered a lot of ground
We have.
in this first part
Yeah.
of our deep dive.
But there's more to come.
Oh, yeah.
So stay tuned
We'll be back
for part 2,
with more insights
where we delve even deeper
from Rory Sutherland
into the fascinating world
and Alchemy.
of marketing
Yeah.
and consumer behavior.
See you soon. Yeah, it really is.
It's like we're all alchemists in a way,
That's a good way to put it.
trying to transform these
Yeah.
base desires into something
Right.
more
They're
meaningful.
from the sum of their parts.
And speaking of alchemy,
Yeah.
Sutherland's book is
Mhm.
just full of these
Full of them.
brilliant insights
Yeah.
into the psychology of value.
It really is.
And one of the things he emphasizes
Okay.
is that we often value things more
Yeah.
when they have a story attached to them.
A story.
A story.
Okay.
So think about like a
Like coffin.
family heirloom.
Yeah.
It's not just an object.
Right.
It's a tangible connection
It has meaning.
to your history,
To your family
to
history.
your heritage,
Yeah.
like a personal connection.
I have this old watch.
That belonged to my grandfather.
Oh, cool.
And it's
Yeah.
it's not particularly valuable in
Mm.
like
Monetary terms.
monetary terms,
Yeah.
but it means the world to me
I bet.
because of its story,
Of course.
right?
It's sentimental value.
And that story
Yeah.
adds a layer of perceived value
Right.
that goes beyond
It transcends
the object itself.
the object
It
itself.
becomes a symbol.
Yeah, it becomes a symbol of
Family,
you
yes.
just
Traditional
connection. It's like
That's why people love
it
antiques.
imbues the object
Yeah,
with this
with a story.
emotional significance
A history.
you can't put a price tag on.
Exactly.
And this idea of storytelling
Mm.
can be incredibly powerful in marketing
Oh, for sure.
as well.
Yeah.
So think about brands
Okay.
that have a strong narrative.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just selling products.
Right.
They're selling a story,
A lifestyle.
a lifestyle, a set of values.
A set of values
Yeah.
that people can connect with.
That resonate
With those brands
Yeah.
that focus on sustainability and ethical sourcing.
Patagonia.
Yeah. They're tapping into this
Yeah.
growing consumer desire to make conscious choices
Absolutely.
and be a part of something
To feel good about their purchases.
than themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just about the product.
They're not just selling a product.
It's
about
selling
what it stands for.
a better future.
Yeah.
And that narrative,
And people are willing to pay more for that.
it can be incredibly
Yeah, they are.
compelling.
They are.
It's like they're inviting customers to
Join them.
join them
On a mission.
on a journey,
Yeah.
to be part of a movement.
A movement.
And that's a powerful thing.
Sense of shared purpose
Yeah.
can be incredibly
That is
fun.
for sure. It's like a community.
This reminds me of something you mentioned earlier.
Mm.
You know, you're interested in DIY projects.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a connection
I think so.
between that and the stories
Because you're creating the story
we attach to
when you do something yourself.
objects?
Yeah.
You're putting your own
Because when you create something yourself,
effort into
you're
it.
investing
Yeah.
not just time and effort,
Yeah. Blood, sweat, and tears sometimes.
but also a part of yourself into it.
a little piece of you goes into it.
It becomes a reflection
Yeah.
of your creativity,
Your own personal touch.
your personality,
Yeah.
your skills.
Your ingenuity.
It's like you're writing your own story
Absolutely.
into the object.
I agree.
And that personal connection
Yeah.
makes it all the more
More special.
valuable to you.
Absolutely.
And it makes me think about
Yeah.
how companies
How can they?
could encourage
Yeah. That sense of
personal connection,
personal connection, even
Right.
with
even with
mass-produced products.
mass-produced things.
Like maybe offering customization options.
Yeah.
Or finding ways to involve customers
In the design process.
in the design process.
Yeah.
So they feel like
Co-creation.
they're a part of
That's a great idea.
creating it.
I like that.
And it's all about
It's all about making that connection.
finding these subtle ways
Yeah.
to tap into
To tap into those
psychologically
by value
Yeah.
and create experiences that resonate with people
deeper level.
on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And I think
It's not just about
as we wrap up
yeah.
this deep dive
Mm-hmm.
into the world of marketing and consumer behavior,
Okay.
it's clear that
Yeah.
there's a real art to it.
There is.
It's not just about
It's not just about pushing product.
pushing products.
Yeah.
It's about understanding
It's about understanding people.
and what makes them tick.
It's about seeing the world
Yeah.
through their eyes,
Mm-hmm.
understanding their motivations, and finding ways to
Right.
connect with them
On an emotional level.
on an emotional level.
Yeah.
It's about creating experiences that are not just
Transactional.
transactional,
Yeah.
but transformative.
Transformative, yes.
And ultimately,
Yeah.
it's about using this knowledge
To make the world
to create
a better place.
a better world,
Yeah.
one where marketing is a force
I love that idea.
for good.
Yeah. Not just
for profit.
for profit.
Right.
Yeah. It's really been fascinating
So many great takeaways
exploring these ideas
from Alchemy.
with you,
Mm-hmm.
Rory Sutherland's Alchemy, really.
It challenges you.
It does.
Think differently.
It challenges our assumptions about,
Right.
know,
yeah.
what drives value and how we can use those insights
Yeah.
to create,
For good.
more meaningful experiences
Yeah. And not just for ourselves,
in marketing
but for the world.
for everyone. Absolutely.
He really has a gift, I think,
He does.
for making us question
He's a provocateur.
the status quo
Yeah.
and reframe our thinking
Mm-hmm.
from the subtle psychology
Yeah.
of the Uber map
Mm-hmm.
to the art of
Negative storytelling?
negative storytelling, the
Uh-huh.
transformative power
The experience goods.
of experience goods.
Yeah.
It's clear that
It's so much more than
just,
or
putting up a billboard.
than meets the eye.
Yeah.
It's like he's given us this
A secret decoder ring.
secret decoder ring
I like that.
to unlock
Yeah.
the hidden language of consumer behavior.
The hidden language.
And it's there
It's fascinating.
if you know how to look for it.
And the implications, I think, go far beyond just
Oh, absolutely.
selling products.
Yeah.
His ideas can be applied to
Like anything.
everything from
Yeah.
designing better services to promoting
Relationships.
positive social
change.
Social change, yeah.
So,
Like we were saying,
yeah.
marketing can be a force for good.
I think what are the key takeaways
I think so too.
from this deep dive
Yeah.
is that
We're all alchemists
we all have the power
in a way.
to be alchemists in our own lives.
We can use this knowledge.
We can use this knowledge
to make a difference.
To make more conscious choices, to design
It's
more
a
engaging experiences, and even to
shape the world.
Influence the world around us for the better.
I love that.
It's empowering, isn't it?
It is empowering.
To realize that we're not just
passive
recipients of marketing messages.
Right.
We're active participants.
We have agents
in shaping the value we perceive.
Yeah, we have a choice.
And the choices we make.
So
we're not just...
As we kind of wrap up this deep dive. I'm curious. What's resonating with you the most from our exploration?
I think the thing
of Rory Sutherland's Alchemy
I keep coming back to is that
what's the one?
We have to
moment
that you'll carry with you.
Yeah. And consider those
going forward
deeper psychological forces that are at play.
Yeah.
You know, because
they're there whether we acknowledge them or not.
They are.
Right.
And like you were saying, value is often subjective.
Yes.
And we can influence.
And we can actually influence perceptions.
Through storytelling.
Framing, even
a little bit of magic.
A touch of magic. It's beautiful. I love that.
It's like finding...
It's about poetry.
Finding the poetry.
In the everyday.
In the everyday. And using it. To create experiences that are not just... Functional.
But meaningful.
But truly meaningful.
Yeah.
That's a great way.
And I think as we move forward.
So as we move forward.
Let's challenge ourselves.
Let's all challenge ourselves.
To go apply these.
To apply these insights in our own lives.
Absolutely.
To be more conscious consumers. More creative marketers. More.
And just more thoughtful in general.
Thoughtful architects.
Yeah.
Of the world around us.
Of the world around us,
Let's embrace the alchemy.
Let's do it.
The alchemy of possibility.
And see where it leads us.
Where it leads us.
This has been an incredible...
This has been fun.
...journey.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what we discover next.
Awesome.